realize at any given point, do you change who you are for other people? And if you do, well, you're missing out on, first off, being accepted for who you are, because other people may, first off, not accept you because, well, you're a less than of a person that you could be. I'm not saying to be this great person. I'm saying be your authentic, true version of who you are. And by being able to be that, well, let me just say, by not being able to be that, whoever may be in your presence is not getting the best of you. So yeah, they may not view you like, wow, you're an awesome person, or I really like you, or you have a great personality, or whatever. And you could think anything bad about yourself, generally, but if you have this vibrance about you, that's going to be fed off by other people, because people like energy. People like authenticity. People like people who are themselves and are full of life. Full of life means having a high energetic state. I'm into being alive. I don't have to have a ton of energy where I'm like on caffeine or something. No. The energy I'm referring to is a very basic emotional vibrance of who you are. And if who you are becomes lower than or less than, then yeah. I mean, can you really blame anyone around you if you're just like, kind of just like, that type of person? I don't know. And you're low energy? Who likes a low energy person? Right? I'm not saying try to be different for other people, but that's not you. That's not you. That's a version of you that is scared, that is afraid. And it's okay, you know? As long as you can work on this, what you'll start to realize is you get to have more of who you are the very second you start to realize, I'm not who I am in this moment. I'm not being me. Why do I have to change? If I'm in a good mood and I'm laughing with other people, and all of a sudden someone with a low energy or someone with an intimidated energy or whoever it may be that comes in your environment, why would you change just laughing and having a great time? Why would you do that? If you're in the middle of a story, if you're in the middle of listening to something, if you're in the middle of having a great conversation, explaining what you thought about something or whatever it may be, it doesn't even matter. Because you're in the moment of your life, right? And you're in a moment of other people's lives, sharing that energy, sharing that time, that connection, whatever it may be. And if you change that, you have to realize it. And some people change it for the... I'm referring to change it for the worse here, but some people change it and they think they're changing it for the better because you become more cool, you become more awesome, you become more intelligent. That is another form of being afraid as well. It's just we compensate because we don't realize internally we're feeling threatened. So let me compensate and I'll be more than. That's not how to do it. And some people may like that, and you might think, oh, people like that more. Well, then you're also then changing for others in an extroverted way. And that's up to you. I don't think you're giving people who you really are, because who you really are may not like something. Who you really are may love something in a crazy way, and that no one will agree. And you can say, that's okay. You don't have to agree. It's fine. This is who I am, and whatever. And you take on life with this healthy, vibrant, self-loving attitude. And when people start to try to take that down, or you're around people who are weaker, and the weaker, here's what happens when you're weaker. You try to take advantage. And some people don't realize they're doing this. They take advantage of other people who have a lower energy, who have a lower vibrance. And we can say they have more of an introverted personality style. Or, you know, someone who's just not as into just life in general. And some people feed off of that. And they take advantage. And they try to feel more stronger as an energetic, more vibrant, happier person. And they're really not. They just don't realize they're doing that. Some people do know they're doing it. I'm not going to say people that do know realize, oh, I'm like this energy stealer, or I'm this person who's trying to dominate because I'm... it makes me feel better about myself. Some people may know they're doing it. I don't know with what words they're going to try to describe they know what they're doing, but I think a lot of people don't realize. And you have to realize. You have to realize if you become that person, because some people with a low energy eventually become that person, where they try to have a higher energy, a higher potential, a higher way of being, and ultimately they're not really themselves. And people are going to like a version of you that you're really not. So ultimately, you may be liked, but you're not going to actually be at peace. You're not going to actually be who you are. And I think that's really the goal here, just to be yourself. And this is not an easy thing to do. A lot of people are just not realizing their own self-love, you know? And here's the thing, you have to notice at the very second. If it's too late, that's okay. You could be way into this. I'm like changing who I really am in more of an introverted or more of an extroverted way on purpose, or I'm doing it unintentionally, and I don't have to. And at any point that you realize this is occurring, that is your moment to say, I don't have to continue doing this. And maybe you'll become more of you in that moment, and that's your practice. That's what you need to continuously do when you start to realize this is happening. You know, and the people who are the most miserable people, because they have the lowest energy, they have the lowest self-connection with who they are, right? Therefore, they have the lowest self-love of themselves. They don't even realize it. Those people are going to be miserable around you because they're not going to be in an authentic, vibrant, sharing, energetic way. They're going to be in a way of trying to dominate. They're going to still try to capitalize, even though you're in your best way of being. And guess what? When you start noticing people like this, stop giving them your energy. I'm not saying be like, you know, quiet on purpose around them. I'm just saying realize what's happening around you. Realize how people are handling their life. And all you have to do is just realize it. When you start to notice this stuff, it's not to judge, it's not to label, it's not to say, oh, you even know, because maybe you're wrong. Maybe they're having an off day or an on day, or maybe you don't really even know them anyway. Who do you even know anyway that well? Right? And the people that you think you know really that well, do you? I mean, it's hard to really get to know somebody. You have to spend a lot of time around them and see who they are and how they change themselves. And, you know, the point I'm trying to make is let people be and let yourself be, you know? And those you connect with, because you're really being you, and you realize they're, like, hopefully they're being themselves, guess what? That's life. You live like that. And you grow in this. And, you know, you can't be responsible for how other people are going to be. You can only be responsible for how you're going to be. I'm not saying you can't be responsible over those that you are ultimately responsible for, but still they have their independence in their life to a degree of wherever they're at with their age and their abilities. But, you know, if you're in charge of helping with that, then that's one thing. But ultimately what I'm trying to say is those that you're not, which is most people in this world, you have to do you, you know, to the best that you can. And doing you isn't trying to be great, it's trying to be you. If we were to say that, you know, how can we be this great person? Well, that is great. That is great. That is, like, cool. That is awesome. That is, like, so attractive, you know? And people who can't see that, they're jealous, right? Or they're afraid. Or, you know, they're just wherever they're at. And maybe they'll grow in themselves. And that's all life is really about. Self-growth with who you are. Who are you? What does that even mean? Right? That's the thing that gives us our daily, I don't know what you want to call it, our daily way of just being alive. If you can't notice how you're doing that, well, you're going to be wherever you're at. And maybe that's okay. But if it's not, and you want to be like, no, I want to actually be happier, I want to be who I really am, then this is completely for you, you know? And I think that's what it's all about.